Hello, welcome to Walpole United WFC. Hello and welcome to Walpole United with me, John Foster, MUFC. Slight change of plan today due to Man United just absolutely breaking the internet. Unbelievable scenes today. Natalie has got a couple of issues with the Wi-Fi, so just bear with her. I just introduced the show. Thank you to everybody in the comments already. So yeah, I woke up this morning and from a message from Nat saying, John, something's going to happen today. Check on Twitter and I can see a couple of the well-known journalists tweeting. I didn't realise who it was going to be or anything like that. But yeah, there's a lot that's gone on today and we'll try and break it down throughout the show. Just while Nat's sorting out Wi-Fi. Jamie, welcome to the show. How you doing, mate?
Well, thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Just give us a bit about your background then, just a little bit about who you are, because it's your first time on the show. People might not know who you are or where you're from.
So I've been a United fan for my entire life. I used to live in Manchester until a few years ago, and now I live just a bit further away in Cheshire. Professionally, I started writing about football about 7 or 8 years ago, mainly doing Premier League, United Men, and then the last couple of years, so that was predominantly for a website called 90 Min. The last couple of years, they've sort of getting more and more into the women's side, and then literally this week they've hired a full-time women's editor, and so I've been doing a lot of their content on the women's side for the last couple of years, but now that she's come on board, we're going to do a lot of it together and hopefully take it to a whole new level into the space, which is obviously growing quite significantly.
Yeah. Nat, welcome back. Just your thoughts on today. Obviously, we'll break it down. I want to go a bit like a chronological order, like so from first thing this morning when you messaged me to like obviously where we are now. So we'll go through that throughout the show.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's different levels. I mean, the two that we brought in initially, they're good, but I see them as like backup in a way. I think Jade Moore could eventually. I don't know what Jade Moore could do. We know she's had her injury issues. We know that she's not fully fit, kind of a thing coming into this. I think Diane, is everyone saying her name right? Diane, yeah. Is just, it's the, we had one centre back, and I know we had two centre backs. I know we've had two centre backs. Millie's been injured before, but obviously this has happened with Millie, and there's not really a date on it. We don't know how bad it is. We don't even really know what it is. And I mean, it was actually Jamie's article that, that made me think, get him on as well. I mean, he approached me over, I know people are saying about us on the Twitter, the Women's Football Fan Collective. And, I did an article about that and saying the importance of equal FA Cup. But, he did an article about us potentially not adding, and is it going to be a bad thing? And we were all anticipating not to get someone in, weren't we, John? We weren't, I'd heard as well, Emma posted it this morning or this afternoon, sort of, we have been in for a striker, we've been trying, and a few deals have fallen through. I heard on Tuesday night that a deal fell through for a forward. I sort of told a few people, but it's out there now. Emma's put it out, so I think we have been working. Stina, we were so excited for that at the start, but now this is like gone. I saw someone on Twitter on here to say it's gone from like 0 to 100, and I've seen people saying Mark Skinner's gone from a villain to a hero, and he has definitely changed his perspective around. I think he came in thinking. I mean, when you come into Man United, you get instant love. It is that kind of thing. These girls are going to experience that straight away. But, the expectations weren't high for him coming in. And I feel like he sort of upset a few people with things that he said. But he has changed it round. He's done well. And, if this one comes off at the end, it's just going to be like Stina, who, that's what I'm saying. Where's Stina now? They're playing now and they're losing. She's not even there. So I don't even know who Stina is now. Gone, finished.
Sorry. I thought you finished. Mohammed keeps up to date on the Arsenal score. And Arsenal losing 1-0. Another header from a free kick. But you're absolutely right there, Nat. I mean, Arsenal, I think, have they took like 1 draw so far, a loss against us, losing right now. So, the Arsenal and Chelsea fans, they can't get too excited over what's going on. They've got to be looking over the shoulder. We was already 6 wins out of 6 with 6 clean sheets, and that was before the 3 new signings. Again, I agree with what you said about the 2 names that have been brought in. They are backups, but they're there for a good reason. So I want to get onto that one first. So we put that we put obviously Diane Caldwell out, announced that one first, and for me, it is backup, but we've got so many games still to play. She's going to be playing, isn't she? It's not just it's just there and we're not going to use that. We have to use it.
Yeah, I'm so happy for her as well, because she said she's a lifelong, this is a dream come true, and I just feel like that's what the problem was, wasn't it? I think we all wanted Stina. It was all about Stina at the start of the window, but Stina didn't want to come, so you can't force anyone. And I feel like this is what we've wanted. We've needed sort of people who are not desperate, but people who want to play, who want to be at the club. I think we've seen Ethan Mannion come in, wants to be here, wants to prove, wants to show. Martha Thomas wants to show. Staniforth wants to show. Whereas I'm not saying that there's anyone who's coming that didn't want to come, but if you do sign people and they're just sort of not thinking of themselves, because everyone sort of thinks of themselves, don't they? But players that don't sort of get it, don't get what it means, I just think can end badly.
Mm-hmm. Jamie, I'll let you pick up with that question on screen. Do you think that this team now has the ability to qualify for the Champions League? What are your thoughts on that one, mate?
I would say, yeah, and I think because last season it was obviously so close, and then things sort of fell apart a little bit in the new year and after Christmas, which they kind of did the year before as well, before the season was cancelled. You would suggest that maybe they've learned from that, and obviously with it being tighter, perhaps the top couple of teams aren't as far away as they were before, and then the other few from behind, like say Tottenham, Brighton, even City obviously had a poor start, but they're coming back into it. I think because it's going to stay that close to until the end of the season, everybody, all you need to do, and it's been shown by United's last few results, is if you put some consistency together, you're going to get straight back in there. So it's definitely all to play for in that respect. And then obviously it's going to come down to who's got the depth, and that's probably what's most important about today, as you've been talking about. It's not necessarily improving your strongest 11, but improving the squad as a whole, so that if you have injuries or people are fatigued or whatever because there's multiple competitions to play, then you're going to have somebody to come back into the team that is not going to drop the quality. And especially if, as Nat was saying about Diane Caldwell really wanting it, that sort of increases it as well.
Can I just touch, John, as well on Diane? I just want to say one last thing. We've just sort of, come off a really busy week, and now we're playing Bridgewater. And when Jamie just talks about the increase in games like that, where she can play, where you want to see a young player play, but you don't have to play your top defenders. You can put Diane and now a Poppy Lawson in there. Poppy Lawson is an under-21 captain. Under-21s have just got to the final of the FA Cup, under-21 FA Cup. Poppy has been with Man United since 5, been with the under-21 since 2019. That's what you can see. And having like Diane with Poppy, if say, for example, they did something like that, for me, that's going to push Poppy up to a level, because she's been there, done that, seen it. I just think people like Diane and Jade, they're going to be so good for a Tooney, for a Leslie, but as well for a young centre-back. We've got Taru changes us a lot. Like I said, Poppy, there's Rebecca May coming through. Telling me having Jade Moore, who's done this, who's won that, who's played England games. Yeah, they can look up to Tooney, but Tooney hasn't, when they say done it, you know what I mean? Like, she's smashing it now, but she's doing it. Whereas Diane has done it, Jade done it. I just think it's going to be good for everyone, really.
I think I would describe them as intelligent signings. That they're not signings that's going to like blow people away in the sense of, they're going to win us the Champions League. I don't think it's that. But I think for January, I think what Skinner's done, or the board, or the scouts, or whatever, they've looked at the gaps in the squad. So we keep on saying we want 2 players in each position. Why we signed another midfielder, and I put that tweet out because it's not, there's so many different types of midfielders. there's no one out that we struggle when we haven't got Hayley Ladd. We've been saying it from day one. We said it before the season started. We say that Katie Zellum's not a number 6. She's a box to box. Jackie, Balvisa, Tooney. We struggle when Ladd's not there. Now, all of a sudden, we've got a player that's better than the other ones that we've named in that particular role, or at least that's what we're hoping. And I think, so that's clever, in bringing that kind of player in. We needed a centre-back. I don't know how long this one's been going on for. It might have just been a bit of a rush job because of Millie, but even so, it might not have been, because if you think about it, that they've got the deal done quickly, they've got the photographs, they've got her in, they haven't just got anyone. It does take a little while to get some of these deals done. And it's of good quality as well. So even though she might not be first choice, as you say, Bridgewater, get them in. Give Mannion a rest. We're able to give a centre back a rest now, as well as develop some of the youngsters. And if we do get this striker in as well, which we'll talk about shortly, all of a sudden it's gone from a decent transfer window to a very good transfer window. Jamie, what excites you the most about the news that you've heard today? Is there anything that kind of stands out for you at all?
I would just say excitement probably isn't the word that you would be looking at in the grand scheme of things, but more like practical and understanding what you want and where it's going to take you and how you can get there, in a sense. Because, as I said about depth, that you wouldn't question United's strongest 11 as is. You wouldn't question it as such. It is good. It is very good. There's a lot of very good players. Most of them are quite young. But it's not deep enough to compete with, say, like an Arsenal or a Chelsea, in the sense of last night you had Chelsea winning 2-0 without their 2 best players. And I'm not sure that United could necessarily do that if you had, say, the 2 best goal scorers out of the team. So it's an excitement from a practical standpoint, because you're filling in, you've got the top level, but you're filling in underneath and making sure that any holes aren't disastrous. And that was the term that's the term that I used the other day when I wrote that article that Nat was talking about, that you're risking disaster if you don't have cover, because suddenly, and it's not just about losing that one player, you lose the centre back, you've got to fill in from midfield, you lose that player from midfield, and it affects the whole team. So it's not just like a one thing, it's covering yourself and making sure that if things fall apart, it's not for an avoidable reason.
Can I just say as well, at this time last year, we were in a position where we were talking about a player who's come in and literally changed the way that we play, Bilda Borisa. I'm not saying we could have definitely signed her in January, but that's when the talk started. That's when her contract went out. And, if you listen to Mia and Phil, we've had on, the way that they talked about it is that she had to go and sign for a Norway team for a couple of months because whatever reason. Why didn't United then, push for it the way that they've done with these 3? And then we probably would have been in the Champions League. Bilder is always going to come to United, whether we're in the Champions League or not. Look, she's coming. We're not in the Champions League. But, she wanted United. United wanted her. But we had to wait till the summer. And I feel like, I don't know if it was Casey, I don't know if it was the club. I don't care who it was. That could have been the difference. And like you say, depth, just change it up a bit. These 2 girls that we signed now are the depth, like you say, we haven't got another Hayley Ladd. No matter how many midfielders we've got, we haven't got someone who can do that dirty work like she does, that tackles, that breaks up play, that intercepts. People might not like Jade Moore, but if she tackles it, someone just said to me the other day, all she has to do is make the tackle and pass it to Tooney and pass it to this and pass it to Leah and pass it to that and pass it to Alessia. She doesn't have to do much. I'm not looking at her to score goals or make assists. I'm looking at her to get the ball and pass it to someone like Leah, like Tooney, like Hansen, like Alessia. I'm not looking for do anything. But this other one, though, that I know we're going to go on to her, but this Cena, that's just, I know it's only a loan, but if we can get the Champions League and she stays, that's just the next level that we were talking about. We wanted that clinical 9. I'm not saying Alessia can't do it. There's 2 of them there now. And if you just need something to change it up, a bit of difference, like what Jamie says. I've just been sent a tweet that says Arsenal fans booing. I love it. No, but like you say, you can bring on someone to make a difference. Chelsea has that. Beth England came on, scored the goal. So yeah, this time, Tooney might be rested, bring her on, or this one, if someone's out of form, bring them on. I felt like up front is where sort of we have needed the most. And I think I even replied to your article, Jamie. I said, yes, centre back, but we've lost a centre back anyway. But I get it. But I think we needed a striker. It's always what we've sort of needed. I think centre back we needed more because there was no Millie, you know what I mean? So there was no that backup. But I think since the summer we've always needed forward players. It's even when Mark first came in, I was like, we need more forwards. If we lose one forward, we've not got anything. And then it's just something to keep it fresh, to keep goal scorers scoring, really, isn't it? You know, Leslie is probably going to look at her and think, well, they're all gassing over her now. I'm going to still score. I'm going to show, you know, and I like that. I like that. But this one is that is just setting us apart. And I feel like if we get her, we win the league. And then, you know, we're just showing our ambition now and showing the flex. You know, they said, you know, they were going to do aggressive recruitment. Well, that's it. That's what they've done. And with this girl, that's the one. That's just the cherry that everyone's been waiting for. We're waiting for the Stina, but I don't need Stina now. I've got my star girl.
Jamie, I'll bring you back. I'll bring you shortly, but Nat, just on this, why do you think they've waited till now to announce it? You know, maybe one of them might not be 100% done, but the others two would have been done. They would have been done, weren't they? Is it just?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was Amy. I saw Amy say that Diane, they're at Old Trafford, so that makes you think it's been done for a while. That one, I don't know why it's taken. I only heard, I mean, from everybody, I only heard of this Diane right early in the morning, and I only heard that there might be a couple to help Millie, and you know, I thought it'd be a couple of centre backs. I didn't think it would then mean Jade Moore as well. But yeah, this Diane, I don't know why it's taken them so long. I think they've been trying. Like I said, I heard on Tuesday that a striker had fallen through. Emma's posted that a couple of strikers have fallen through. They've been working on a striker. Oh, well, we know with Stina that one fell through, and I don't know why it's. Maybe they thought we'll get the big striker in first, and then we'll just add on these two at the end. You know, because you know what we're like.
Yeah.
When everyone was talking about Diane and then Jade Moore, when Jade Moore was dropped, name was put out by Emma, everyone was in riot. Now everyone's happy because they've heard about seeing the Birch. So maybe that's what it is. We know United, they're all about optics and all this kind of thing. So if we had our Stina, we would be like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? If we had that 9, if they'd appeased us, then we'd be like, yeah, whatever. But they'd noticed that girl, they said that she's been in Manchester since the morning. No one heard nothing until late. So they wanted to put out all the info about, you know, thingy. Everyone's unhappy. Now everyone's happy, you know?
Yeah. Stuart, I'll come on to your comment about Edwards and Solskjaer shortly, because I know Nat will have a bit of an update on the devs from last night. So we'll talk about that throughout the show. But Jamie, just what's your thoughts on, before we get into the detail of the players, what's your thoughts on the actual positions that we've signed for? Because there has been a lot of hype since the summer, really, since we lost, say, 5 strikers and only brought in 1 to replace them. Was you kind of surprised that, like, it was the centre backs and the midfielder that we kind of went for first, or what's your kind of thoughts? Because I think we need all of them. Of course, we need all of them, but I think all the hype from the fans was around like strikers as well.
Surprised, yes and no. In the sense of the strength now has come, it's right through the core of the team. So centre midfield, centre back, striker. Those are the areas that you would say needed the most depth. Anyway, if I'm honest, I'm surprised that United have scored as many goals this season as they have, because of what you said about losing 5 forwards in the summer and only bringing in 1 as a direct replacement. I think with regard to that, there's not been new signings, but certainly, like, say, Russo, for example, she was injured most of last season. She's come back, is effectively like a new signing. And Martha Thomas as well. Like, she didn't start particularly well, and then she had an injury, but she really come into the last few weeks when getting fit, and it's that kind of thing that I say has been surprising, that they have scored as many goals they have, but when you look at it more deeply. But then again, like what you were saying, competition, I think Bruni's competition, the other two are depth, and that's maybe the difference. Because competition is just as important, because you can't have anybody that is knowing that they're going to start every week. Not that you would get complacent on purpose, but it's always going to creep in if you're not being pressed, because you see that at football clubs all over the world all the time. You need the competition. So the striker was important in that sense. And I say, like, right through the depth of the spine, that's where most improvement was obviously needed. So surprised, yes and no.
Nat, remind us to talk about the devs before we go tonight as well. So we'll carry on with the transfers first. So we was on about Jade Moore, obviously coming from Orlando. I remember us having a conversation probably a couple of months ago about would Skinner look at players who he's had previously. Now, I don't think her name particularly came up, but transfers from Orlando came up. And I think it was probably midfielder, I think, at the time that potentially we was looking at, but I'm not too sure. I don't think it was this name. Do you think it is actually a Skinner signing? Do you think he's actually got out there and said, right, I've played with this player? Because it's too coincidental to the fact that they played with each other. Played with each other. You know, he's coached her twice, two different teams. He obviously knows what he's going to get from her.
Yeah. And I mean, he's had Haley Ladd as well, isn't it? You know, he knows what he's going to get from Ladd. He knows what he's going to get from Stanley, and you know, Aoife. We're seeing these are like important players to him. So I think, you know, he would have said, "I want Jade Moore," kind of thing. Apparently, Casey liked her as well. So I don't know, like, if that would have been on. They would have, you know, maybe talked about her at a time. I do think though, when she left Reading, that was a time if we were going to get her. I know people say, you know, she's had a really bad spell at Orlando, and I think she had a bad spell. She joined Atletico Madrid, and I don't think it went really well there. And so she hasn't played for a full year, and she's come in and she's still got a bit of a knock. But I think we've seen I just want to touch on, I think he's called Chris Rush, the guy that's he's a fitness analysis coach or something like that. And I know we've got a new strength and conditioning coach, Carl, so Jade would have worked with him. We've got obviously this Chris guy who's come out of retirement, used to be head of development at Blackburn. I know it's Blackburn, but you know, he's worked at Man City, the boys' elite development. So a lot of this new coach's sort of remit is about maintaining fitness and building fitness and that kind of thing. So I think Skinner must be confident in the team of coaches and stuff like that and fitness that he has, that he thinks I'm going to bring, because you don't really sign a player who's injured, do you? You know, Jamie will know more. I've never really heard of a club signing an injured player. They maybe wait until the injury is, you know, resolved, then they sign them, you know, or give it a couple of months, see that they're fit. So to sign her with an injury shows how much Skinner rates her. And I feel like, I know that maybe our fan base wasn't as excited for Jade, but I feel like Skinner, with what he's done, he deserves, like, well, this is one I want. You know what I mean? I think he wants all of them, but like, this is one that I'm choosing personally, you know? So, you know, if he's bringing her in and saying she's going to do this and she's going to be great, like you say, for me, it's fill in for Ladd. But you know, then it's competition for Ladd as well. You know, we love Ladd, but what she goes, I'm not saying she has, but you know, what if she does go complacent? She knows that she's a very valuable player. Everyone loves her, so you know, it's competition and it's a depth in that respect for Jade. But yeah, Skinner obviously really rates her to bring her in with injury anyway. So I'm confident with the team that he's got now. You know, Carl and this Chris guy. I think that they're really on it. I've seen the adverts that they've got a second doctor as well. So you know, and even with what happened with Millie, they were family were praising the doctors to find out, you know, what was wrong and stuff like that. So I think United have really upped the game. They were sort of showing up this time last year, and towards the end, and I feel that they thought, you know, they're going to take it seriously now.
I think my initial thoughts when we heard the rumours, because Jade obviously only got announced an hour and a half ago, but my initial thoughts was, okay, she can come in, and then if Ladd needs to drop a centre back just while Millie's recovering, then it wouldn't be so much of a loss. Obviously, that was before Diane got announced as well. But it is that strength in depth, and I think it's going to be very interesting now because she's going to go on that.
Can I just say, I was saying from the start, centre back's coming in. So even when I saw other people say like you, I thought this, I thought that. Listen to me. I said a centre back was coming in. Jade Moore's not a centre back, and that's what I do like about him. He's playing players in their positions, unlike what we probably had before. Fill in. No, we want proper players.
Yeah, he's looking at that system. He's looking at what he needs, and like I say, we know where he's lacking. I think it's probably forced the club's hands as well because people are saying, "Oh, Skinner's not going to have anyone because the results are going well at the moment for him." Yeah, the results are going well, but the strength in depth still isn't there. Jamie, just what's your thoughts on like the fact that the season is actually going really well? Do you think? I think it's going well. Some fans might disagree with me, but I think it's going well. I think if you said to us at the start of the season that going into February, we'll be third in the league and still in both cups, I think that would be an achievement. Do you think that the club's kind of forced these transfers through because of the injury with Millie Turner, or do you think that these transfers was always on the cards? What are your thoughts? Because 3 in one day to be announced, I mean, it's good going, even for Man United.
I'd expect that they were probably always planned because the ultimate goal is always to break into that top 3 and to. The problem that the United have had ever since getting into the top flight is they've never had the consistency over a whole season. So there's always been patches where things have gone well and then falling away again, and then maybe picking up. And that's already happened this season. Typically, the last couple of years, it's happened after Christmas, whereas now the dodgy patch seemed to be October, November, when players were out, and there's probably a bit of everything that. Yes, he can see that there's issues with the squad. That I think the fact that it's all come on one day isn't necessarily ideal because it means it's all been left to the last minute to try and race it through. Because obviously there was other plans, other targets. Things happen and change all the time. Deals will fall through and that. But yeah, so I think it's a bit of everything that it will have been planned, perhaps not quite so much in just one 24-hour period, but they can see that the top of the league is within reach. I mean, I'm not saying that United will win the league because I don't know if that is within reach, but certainly top 3 is within reach. It'll only take Tottenham to lose a couple of games and they'll fall away, or City. They drew. They drew last time, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. It only takes a couple of results and it all changes again. So I think that there will have been planned, regardless, because it has been an issue, the depth in the first half of the season.
Yes, it's announced. They've announced it. Come on, let's go.
It's
yes!
Isn't it?
Yes.
Give me 2 seconds.
They've done it today. I didn't think they'd do it today. Oh my god. Oh, Mia messaged me like it's not gonna happen today. Yes, it's so good. But no, she's done. Finally, we can change the thing to done. Tick the box. Cena Bridge, definitely. I don't even know if I've said her name right, but they've just announced it. And I do think, yes, come on. I do agree with what you're saying, Jamie. I think, you know probably more than me and Jon on this, Jamie. And I just want to ask your opinion. Do you think that, because I think Amy said the pictures are at Old Trafford, but then other pictures are sort of not, or they're at Carrington, so maybe it's sort of not rushed through, but it's like that Diane was sort of a bit more planned. I mean, what do you think? Or do you think no, they've maybe just got her at Carrington at Old Trafford today?
Again, it's one of those things, like those pictures could have been taken this morning, they could have been taken last week. I think had they had them, I don't think there's politics in play, is what I'm saying. I don't think it's been saved to the last day to cause a stir. Yeah. I think generally when the deal's right to announce, that's when they'll do it. I don't think there's politics as such. And I think with this one today, it sounds like it was a late target because, as you said, there was a deal that fell through a few days ago.
Come on, Brian, again. Come on. sorry. Ah!
Are they winning? Wait, is it still 1-0 or 2-0?
2-0. 2-0. But that's what I'm saying, Jamie. We're so close. For me, it's for me, I know you said we can't win the league, but Brighton 2-0 against Arsenal, I think that's what he's saying. I don't know. But if that's the case, for me, Arsenal might drop out. You know, I feel like we're how many points away from Arsenal now?
2. And we've got to play them again.
2.
So.
And we've got to play them. And they're level on games played. For me, that's it. It's there. It's there for the taking. City will want to City is 6 points away from Arsenal, but they'll be thinking, I know Gareth Taylor, sorry, I know I've just cut you up there, mate. I'm really, really sorry, but it's the joy of it when it's happening. But yeah, like City will be wanting to push. They'll be probably disappointed that they didn't beat Arsenal, you know. I just feel like with the players that we've got, I feel like last year was the time when we should have done this because we were sitting top. I feel like this year we've done it, we're sitting second, and like you say, it's still 1-0. Why did you say it then, John? Yeah. But no, we were sitting second, and yeah, they've gone, this is how close we are. Let's just, get it and win it. And I think we've always said 2 or 3 players away from being that kind of level.
Do you think that? No, it's okay. I'm just thinking aloud now. So Skinner's been quite calm when he's been talking about transfers and stuff. Maybe this has been in the pipeline for longer than we thought. I'm not saying this is the exact players, but maybe he always knew that, okay, if I can't get this one, I'll definitely get this one. Because it just seemed quite calm. We know that he wanted transfers. He called them out publicly twice before Christmas. He wouldn't have done that unless if he knew that there was confidence to the board. I think he was saying just last week as well, you might have even been to yourself. That's either last week or the game before that, things are being done. It's just, we just got to wait. We're doing things on the pitch. Other people are doing things away from the pitch, hinting that it's getting done. I'm quite excited. I'm looking at United now, thinking that we're on the way up when it comes to form, the buzz around the place. And then I'm looking at Arsenal, they're falling away. Okay, City might have been happy with that 1-1 draw, but it was still only a draw. Chelsea, not great. Okay, they're doing better than Arsenal in my opinion. They're the ones, but they've kind of fluffed it a little bit as well. We're the ones that's got that momentum, haven't we? And Jamie, we spoke on the show before about how important momentum is, but these 3 signings have really just boosted the momentum as well, haven't they now as well?
I think there probably is a mental side to it as well, because everybody wants to strengthen in January, but I wouldn't say that there's been that many big deals. Like City have signed a young player. Aston Villa have done quite a lot, but that's at the other end of the table, really. So, I'm not saying it's out of reach. I wouldn't pin all your hopes on it in one.
Yeah. We're making nice. We do that. No, I agree. Look, mathematically, it's correct. We're waiting. We're definitely in it. If you were to start the season right now, and we're in this position, it's very good with like just 10 games to go or whatever's left. I've always said that even though we might win 6 or 7 games straight, there will be a point where we will slip up. It's not all. You're not going to win every game from now till the end of the season. There will be hiccups. There will be the odd bad performance. We are going to come up against a team that's on their day, and Arsenal, Chelsea, City that may beat us. But I think at the moment what we've seen is that other teams are slipping up as well. So the teams where Arsenal should be winning, Chelsea should be winning, City should be winning, they're still losing as well. So I think that's what's given me a bit of hope that even if we do lose a game that we should probably win, or it doesn't matter, because look, even Arsenal there, they might turn it around and win, but they're still losing 1-0, that they might not. And I think I haven't got that trust in the opposition anymore. Go on, Nat.
Yeah, I think there was a time, wasn't there, in women's football when you always knew that, I think even we've had Rich Leverty on saying that it doesn't matter what the problem with Man United is that they lose against the Reddings, they lose against this, they don't think, whereas the top 3, they win against Brighton, they win against Reading, they win against Spurs, whereas we've seen already this season, yes, we have dropped points, I'm not going to sit here and say that we're great, but, losing now, Arsenal, Chelsea got beaten by Reading, Chelsea drew with Brighton, Arsenal drew with Spurs. I know we drew with Spurs as well away, but if you actually just look, I was really worried. Well, I wasn't really worried, but I was worried for that Spurs game. And then we just put them out of sight, really, wasn't it? It was comfortable. I know then people have said, oh, well, Spurs, this and that. But no. We played our game to the best of our ability. I mean, really, they had an easier game versus Liverpool on the week. You know, we had Arsenal in the week. And to be honest, I think we dominated both games, the Arsenal game and the Spurs game. And obviously, we just put more away versus Spurs, which you know, we're going to do. But as well, when I look back at that Arsenal game, I know you were there, John, but in the Conti Cup, I think we should have been 3-0 up. Easily, you know, and I don't know if it's maybe because, you know, we're thinking it's Arsenal, but if we had won that 3-0, you know, there's that Tooney chance, there was the Vilda chance, there was other chances. You wouldn't have said, oh, you know, they didn't. I know that Arsenal had that one chance that went across the thing, but other than that, that was it, you know? So if we had gone out there, won that 3-0, people would be like, you know, they're titled to, you know, but because it was just a last minute kind of thing, people might think, oh, it's like a smash and grab, but it totally wasn't.
Yeah. That's the thing for me. I'm not like scared of them. If they're on the game, then yeah, we need to be scared of them. I completely get that. You know, I saw them at the start of the season, they were flying Arsenal, but it's just the fact that they're not on the game at the moment, and we are. And there's only one game in it. Let's put it that way. There's only one game in it, and we've got to play in both. One of them's the last game of the season. The other one's quite soon when Arsenal's on a bad run of form. So for me, anyone who thinks that we can go and win it, go for it. Yeah, let's go and try and win that title. I'll still be happy with top 3 because it's a progression from last season, of course. But yeah, let's go and win that title because we've only one game away. So let's give it a go. We'll talk a little bit about Cena then. If she's an out-and-out striker, which what people are saying, I'd like to see her number 9. That kind of opens up that debate for Russo again, where we say, oh, we want to see her out wide, cutting in. It could be as simple as that, or it could just be rotation. You know, we don't know how fit she is. We don't know how she's going to adapt to the WSL. She may not play as much as we wanted to see play. I mean, what's your thoughts on that one? And Jamie, I'll ask you the same. Come on.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you're right with me going first, Jamie, but I just feel like with her, we talked about Russo and how, like, you know, she's just come back. She had 2 sort of, she was like her one hamstring went and then the other hamstring went, and she was out for the whole season with both hamstrings. And yeah, she's doing fantastic. And, you know, when she came on versus Arsenal, that was like a number 9 goal, you know, that she did score. But then at times you do see her pulling out wide. You do see her sort of, I mean, I described it like a Marcus Rashford kind of thing when he was on his fine form, you know, cutting inside and having a shot and running at people. And, you know, let's see, I'm seeing her. I mean, I had chats with people the other day, and for me, let's see, we'll be signing a new long-term contract like Tooney did, and I think they're going to build it around those 2. So I'm, you know, I know people are saying this, seeing as she's only on loan. Yes, she's only on loan, but she's still quality, and you know, who knows what could happen after that if we do get Champions League, who knows? But, you know, yeah, potentially at the end of the season, it's just here to sort of not to get it over the line, which we didn't last year. That's what it's about. And she's gonna, you know, she's voted the best player in Denmark, you know, above Pernille Harder. So if she's gonna, that's the level that we're looking at, you know. That's the level that we wanted in Stina. So we've got another sort of Stina 2.0. So for me, it's what we needed, it's what we've been crying out for. We lost 5 strikers, so of course we needed another one, you know, and we've got the other one. So for me, I'm delighted. And, you know, I know people are like, oh, well, Leslie's on 9 and all this. No one's going to be upset because you need these players to sort of get it over the line. And if it makes Leslie be like, you know, you're not taking my place, I'm going to score for it. Yeah, go for it. Do it. I'm here for it, you know. No one's just because you're here for a couple of months don't mean that it's you know, doesn't mean nothing really. Got to earn your spot.
So, Joe, what's your thoughts on Russo? Like, because we always debate about where the best position is or whatever. I don't think it's a right or wrong answer really. But like, where would you like to see her, or where do you think we might see her now for the remainder of the season?
I would hesitate wanting to play her out wide because she's been that good through the middle as what you would say like a typical old-fashioned number 9. Like, she holds the ball up well. She's not just about goals necessarily. She takes the ball and she brings other people into it. She gets assists. It's like all around old-fashioned striker play. So I would say that in terms of new signing, that's more about rotation and competition than it is trying to fit them both in the same team, unless you're going to then change the system. But I would suggest that is also perhaps a bit risky. And it's a competition. Like if she on the training ground, they're competing for the same spot in the team, it's only going to be healthy. I mean, she's played so well the last sort of 2-3 months. She won the Fans Player of the Month for December because we at 90 Min that's where the voting's done for that as the official PFA partner. So it was it's nice to see. I like being a fan, obviously, but certainly for a player that had trouble last season as well with injury, and she's obviously very good. She was at college in the States, like the North Carolina team, so that tells you something as well. So I would say that it's about competition. I would hesitate moving a player in form into a different position for the sake of a new signing.
I think people say it's a great position to be in, and it is. It's a great problem to have. I think what we have also got now is we have got a front three that can also rotate as well. So throughout games, we can quite easily start Russo up front, but then if it's not working out, she can play it wide as well, can't she? We've seen a driver players, and we've seen Tooney interchange a lot. So I think that's just I think more than anything now, we've got someone to kind of get us over the edge now, just to try and get us that top three spot, which is great. Something that stuck out to me then, Nat, you were talking a bit about last season, and Russo this season pretty much doing a lot by herself because Martha Thomas has been in and out of injury. It reminds me a bit about LJ last season, like trying to pin something. Was it last season or the season before? Trying to put something. No, it was the season before, wasn't it? So much was on LJ to try and do everything herself, and obviously she couldn't do it game in, game out. She was young. Russo he has practically done it game in, game out this season. She's been our number 9, and we would miss it, wouldn't we? And now what we've got is a striker there that if we haven't got Russo and we've got Cena in instead, then I'm happy with that as well.
And then you know what? It's just going to raise everyone's level, because I know we started with Martha, didn't we? Martha Thomas versus Arsenal, and I think she did well. But just like it's going to raise everyone's level, and I feel like Martha Thomas can come in on the wide because she did it, and I feel like in a way we've had Mia on, which we talked about this, and it was roles. That's what we've got. Yes, everyone does have their lads are 6, thingy's an 8, Russo's a 9, but as well, there's times when I'm seeing Russo crossing the ball in for Vilda Borisa. That's how Vilda scored a goal, and that's what we want in a way. I know this is going to sound sort of fluid football. That's what everyone sort of moves towards, and that's what I suppose this. I can't even say her name again, but that's what she's going to bring. She can move out wide, and who knows? She might start on the right. You want to play 9? Okay, but we'll start on the right because Leslie's our 9, and you're going to have to win that shot off her. But here you start and show us what you can do. And, then Leslie might come out and she might go in the middle and we'll see that kind of different thing. And, it's exciting. Everything's exciting at the minute. And
that's a good point on screen, that.
Go on. Got a player who knows what it takes. Yeah. They did so well, Paris. They won the league. I mean, I'm surprised. People might say, oh, I've seen a few people not upset, but they're saying it's only a loan. And I'm thinking, who cares? She's world class. She's quality. She's sort of, how can I say that? Like, I mean, we've had Rich on here and I'm bringing him up, but he said you need to have that, care harder, that kind of level. And this is that kind of level. And, if she comes, who else can come? She might then go back. But then it opens up. Oh, it's 1-1. It opens up.
I'll take that.
Yeah, it opens up sort of to everyone, it opens up, and if she has a good time and she tells her friends and, she might want to stay. Who knows, I just feel like live in the moment. Let's see, people are sort of upset over Diane, but Diane's only for the moment, really, and it's just to get it over the line. That's what I feel like it is. Jamie said it's so close, and that's what I feel like it's there to get it just over the line. And I feel like if we had had this sort of ambition last year, we probably would have got it. But, you know, potentially, you know, they were showing up towards the end of last year, and it's made them sort of step up now. And obviously, he said, "Give me 2 windows." So there you go. That's today's window 1. He's done his first one. Summer, you know, he'll probably add those 3 positions and you know, more. You know what I mean? So
really important then that we get Champions League spot then to encourage these players who are going to improve our start 11. You know, we spoke away from social media. Nat, you was there, but I don't know if you heard the conversation. But we was at the pub after the game, and I won't name drop the person who said it to us. But we know that some players just refuse point blank not to come to us because they're not in Champions League. And we, you know, you can understand it from a player's point of view. But if they won't come, it doesn't matter. You know, if they won't come because we're not in Champions League, you know, and they've ended up going elsewhere now. And you know, if we can make that top 3 now, that next summer's going to get really exciting because all of a sudden they've got that Champions League. They can see a fantastic fan base. They can see a manager that must have done really well to get into Champions League in the first place. You know, why wouldn't you want to come? So that top 3 spot now is just as crucial as a cup, isn't it? Jamie, just bring you in a little bit. Just want to talk to you before Natalie starts talking about the Devs match that she was at yesterday. Obviously, you're in the journalism, you're in podcasting, you know, you're on social media. Just what's your thoughts about today, about how it's all kind of unfolded with the hype around United and transfers? Because we haven't really heard so much about transfers, and all of a sudden, how quickly it kicks off, and all of today has just been popping so much. You know, it's just great to be a part of, and this is the good side of Twitter, isn't it?
I think it's fun if you're a fan, isn't it? That's the end of it. It's the people involved in the deal is probably wanted them done weeks ago. But if you're a fan, it's just, you know, it is party time, and I suppose there's levels of rivalry now that you get developing in the women's game that perhaps weren't there maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago. That you do get that social media banter between rival sets of fans of like who you've signed and who you've not signed and all that kind of thing. So I think from a fan's perspective, it's definitely been a fun day.
Absolutely. Like I say, I woke up on that. Go on, Nat.
I just wanted to touch on that, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about bringing that attention. I mean, we were going to have this podcast with, sorry, Jamie, I know you know that you came in like last minute, but it was going to be, you know, Reece and Richard, wasn't it? And they're both working on deals pretty much, you know, and it's that hype. And I know then Reece has even said it, you know, deals should be done before, but then he's now working a deal because it's going to bring that hype, you know. And I just feel like that hype is so important because on the last pod that I was on, I was saying like people grow up. I grew up young kid watching Sky Sports News 24 hours, and kids are watching that pretty much all the time now. It's on the thing, the QR code. So I grew up watching that 24-hour loop of thing, and I remember when I sat and I was waiting for Berbatov to sign, and the excitement. You knew he was coming, but it's just the excitement when he came, and he ejected City, and it's all that kind of thing. I mean, there was a player recently who City tried to sign, a keeper, and apparently she said no because she's a United fan. Well, I don't know about that, but you know, that's what it was then turned into. Oh, she's a red, top red, and all this, you know. And I just feel like we're getting a lot of that back, and you know, we want the rivalry. Emma is also a big person who comes on here and says we want the rivalry, we want the songs, we want the banter. Yeah, we don't want it to stem into something else, but you know, when we played City and your ex-players getting booed, it's sort of, I mean, Casey even wrote it in the fanzine that I've got in front of me. You can't join a rival and then expect to get cheered. It's not like that in the women's game now, and it's on, you know, Sky and all that kind of thing. These people are promoting it, you know, 90 minutes. You're kind of one that's sort of like a bit of a social media kind of edgy thing. So it's you know, I'm seeing a lot of Bleacher Report and people posting things about, oh, great day for Man United, men's and women's team won. And we're seeing a lot more like tweets like that going out, and it's really boosting the women's game. And I think it's good for the women's game, to be honest. I know some people are used to the way it was, but you're never going to see progress if you just sort of stand still.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to give a shout out, and I know it's their jobs and everything, but Emma Sanders, Asif Burhan, and Tom Gowey have been absolutely brilliant today. And I know it's their job and they do it and it's in their own interest, but this is what we as fans want. You know, what we want to hear these stories, want to hear these leaks, and fair play to the club. They kept it really quiet this month. You know, we knew we knew roughly, but we didn't know exact names, and we certainly didn't know them months in advance like we did last year. So credit to those three guys today. Has really kept the interest going.
And Emma's on holiday as well, and she still let us know.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone in the comments, by the way. Nat, all for United was out and about yesterday, all up and down the country watching football matches. There's only one that we want to talk about tonight, and that's the one that you was at, watching the Devs. A lot of interest on Twitter and in our social groups want to know what went on. So I'll just paint the whole story. Who was it against? All this kind of stuff.
It was against Aston Villa. It was a semi-final. I think a lot of the interest has come because the first time ever, Man United tweeted about it and said, under 21s at Altrincham tonight, come down, actively encouraging people to come down and watch it. And, that was great. That's great for them. I'm so happy for them. A lot of them girls have been there. Like I said, Poppy Lawson, that's one I want to say, been there since 5 years old. She's told me back in the day. So, she's the captain of the under 21s, and now she's gone to a final. And she even saw, she said, three finals. That's over them third time lucky. So I definitely hope, that they go and win that cup, to be honest. There's a lot of players there. Poppy is 18, but there's Rebecca May, who we've seen before. She's 20, so potentially this could be her last year. Chloe Williams, who people probably know a bit if she plays for Wales. She's 20 as well. So, there might be a big overhaul, but I know Emma spoke to Charlotte Healy, who's the development manager, and she said, under 21 manager, wait and see. We speak to Mark every day. Mark Skinner was there watching. Carla Ward was there watching. So, it's a big day for both clubs. And to be honest, I know Emma's got a piece coming out, but I know a lot of people might think, City, Arsenal, Chelsea. And Arsenal and Chelsea are really good, but Chelsea have sort of dropped off because we beat Chelsea 4-0 going into this. And when I say we didn't just beat them, we systematically destroyed them. We played through them. They couldn't play through our press. They couldn't handle the way they moved the ball. So I feel like a lot of people think, because they're the biggest clubs, they've got the best academies. But no, it's not true. Man United, and I'm not even being biased, and Aston Villa are considered the two best really in the country. Everton's up there as well. Like I said, Arsenal are up there as well. But if you ask people who probably watch a lot of development football, they'd say those two are the best. And I mean, Charlotte Healy is regarded as one of the best. And as soon as she left Liverpool, that sort of got a bit neglected and they've gone downhill a bit. But it was very Villa focused. Villa were not all over us, but they had a lot of chances in the first 10 minutes. Kana Solskjaer had a chance, missed it unfortunately, but then she put a cross in. And Maria Edwards right on the back post. I know Villa fans are a bit upset. They said it was offside. Probably was offside, but a name that we do talk about, a name that you do see on Twitter a lot, Maria Edwards, baby girl. Everyone talks about her. I'd say that she's probably assisted or scored in about 80% of games she's played in the under 21. So for me, she's ready. I'd like to see her versus Bridgewater, whether it's on a bench or whatever. She scored 1-0. I can't remember who scored second. Alicia Ahern again, sort of crossing, I think, from Kana again. And she was sort of there. It was sort of like a low cross, bang, 2-0. And then Kana, in the second half, picked up a ball inside the box and sort of drove into the box and looked up. And Emma says it was a shot, and she basically from like where Beth Mead usually scores, but this time it was inside the box. So the inside on the edge of the box, and just went bang top corner, the other corner, and the keeper had no chance. Then under 16 started to come on. Sorry if I'm talking too much, guys.
Keep going. We want to leave it.
Under 16 started to come on. So there's a girl called Holly Doyle, I think her name is, and there's a girl called I can't remember her name, but they came on. And then Eleanor Ashton, who has played a lot, has played mainly up front. Maz was running into the box and really should have crossed it to this under 16 girl. I forget her name. Megan Schofield, who's the top scorer for under 16, should have really crossed it to Megan. But she took the shot. Keeper parried it out. Eleanor Ashton. Holly Deering also came on under 16s in a CDM position. Passed it to then the fifth goal was a really nice sort of chip by Eleanor Ashton. come up this season from the 16s in the under 21 squad, and it's great to see that there's under 16s coming up to the 21s, and then hopefully on Sunday we see some of them 21s playing. For me, it's about what Man United is about. That seeing those people, like I said, pride. When I first met Poppy, I've been here all this time, and you can just tell, like, even some of them are not even United fans. You can just tell the pride that they're playing for Man United, and so, it's just a great day all round. Everyone was there. Ollie was there. I'm sure people have seen a picture, Ollie and Maz. And, like I said, Skinner was there. A lot of our coaching staff was there. They put tweets out on social media. Everyone was sort of excited. It's what Man United is about. The pathways there. I'm excited for the youth that's coming through. I'll field questions now.
Well, I will throw this question at you because I think it's a great question. I mean, what's a playing style like? Is it similar to what you've seen in the senior team? Because that would help them get through into the senior team. The same kind of
it's
play.
Sort of a bit similar. What I'd say, they play a 4-3-3. I don't know what we were. You see, with Skinner's playing style, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. But with Charlotte, they do like to play out from the back. That's what I will say, and they play out quickly from the back, and they use the wings a lot. So when we're talking about Kana, a lot of people might think Solskjaer, she's a number 9. No, Kana doesn't play as the 9. She plays really on the left wing. But what I will say, they move the ball so quick. The keeper will play it out to Poppy, who'll then play it out to the wing, but it'll be sort of just inside her half. The fullback will play it out, and then Kana will be halfway up the pitch. So it'll be pretty much crossing position from like 4 passes. It's great to see. So I suppose in that sense, Skinner likes to play out from the back. They do that. I mean, like I said, I can't help but bigger up Poppy Lawson, the captain. It's great. I always hear her like, you go there, proper like leadership. It's I'd love to see her learning off, like we said, Diane. Them two sitting in the centre back positions together. But yeah, no, they play out from the back. They play quick football. They pass it quickly. He would have seen a lot there. I think that's probably one of the first or second times he's watched them. So he'll know who, I know he's close. He listens to Martin a lot. Like Charlotte said, they speak every day. Charlotte's in and around the first team a lot now. So she'll be, I suppose, learning his styles to bring it back down to the kids. So, that pathway is important. We love the signings. We love transfers. But I'm all about the pathway and who's coming through next. And with Tara's come through, signed a professional deal. Carrie's in the first team. I want who's next. You can never stop doing it. It's Man United. That's what it's about. Youth, courage, DNA, whatever the 3 words. Youth, passion, courage. That's what it's about. So I'm just excited for Sunday because we know we've got these 3 signings. Who knows who'll play out of those 3? But I'm excited for the devs. I want to see those girls playing, and you might start strong and then bring them on, but I want to see them getting minutes 100%.
Yeah, look, we need to come to the end of the show now, but I will just finish off with Jamie, just a bit of a insight into the Sunday coming. What would you kind of like to see? How would you like to see us set up against a team that's tier 3? I think they're 4th in tier 3, so it's not like that them way down the leagues. Skinner will be thinking to himself, he needs to win this or else he'll get pelters. Can you see there being many changes? I'm thinking it might just be like 2 or 3 of the devs, if that. I know fans would the opposite. I think they want to see a whole, every dev playing. What's your thoughts, Jamie? Where do you think we'll see the devs on Sunday?
I feel like there's a balance, isn't there? Like between how far you can go. So obviously, there's an opportunity to give people a chance, but you don't want to go too far and risk anything. So I would suggest that certainly maybe forward positions, the obvious ones, come off the bench or start or whatever. Maybe a couple, 3. Keep the core of the team largely the same. I wouldn't say it's necessarily when the new signings might come because, let's say, fitness-wise, I think, is it Diane Caldwell? She's last played in the US, so that would have been a good couple of months ago now. Yeah, so just like the balance is the main thing, you know. Experiment, but not too much, and just, you know, use it as an opportunity to rest, rotate, give opportunities, but not at the detriment of anything more severe.
Absolutely, yeah, and I agree with Lanzel's comments as well. There, definitely need to get Carrie and Fuso on. I'd love to see that. Cracking show. Thanks for joining us, Jamie. If anyone wants to come and find you on Twitter or any podcasts that you're involved with, how can they go about doing that?
So on Twitter, I'm at Jamie Spencer 155. We also at 90min.com. There's a whole women's section, and as I said before, there's a full-time women's editor now, and she's going to be taking on the content to the next level, basically, because I've been doing it. It's not been my full-time remit so far. I've been doing it as and when, but she's going to take it to the next level, and hopefully I'm going to work with her as much as possible.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah. Great day, Nat. End the show with yourself. 3 signings, deadline day. Couldn't have been any better. We've got a great show lined up tomorrow as well, which you can just shout out now if you want. But yeah, all in all.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow's about all the dealings. So we've got Villa fan, we've got Chloe on, talk about Villa deals. We've got Jack on, who have been on Leicester Fan TV, Leicester's deals. Chelsea fan, how do they feel? You know, because Chelsea have only really made one, whereas we've made a few now. Arsenal's made a few. We're pushing. Maybe we'll have an Arsenal fan on, talk about Stina. Maybe compare the two. You know, who knows? But listen, like I said, anyone else, Tottenham, City, whatever, let's do it. But you know, it'll be good. It's I definitely want to speak about like Villa and Chelsea, and you know, like if we can talk about the top and then the bottom, that's important, isn't it? You know, but you know, for me, my one last thing is we're 6 point now, we're 5 points off top. Who says we can't do anything now? I just feel like we have the way that we're playing. We know what we're doing. We know our roles. You know, shaky Chelsea last night, shaky Arsenal today, City. They've always been shaky. You know, believe. That's all I'll say.
Cracking. Thank you to everybody, and keep tuning for tomorrow night, and see you again soon.